Oh, 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 that game always sucks me dry. It was the freaking combat. Hmm. Oh yeah, now I'm tired. I still want to stream, but oh man, I'm tired. I am now exhausted. Like two back-to-back hard bosses. Man, it's dark out. Wait, you beat EDF 6? Nice job, dude. All right, let's do some just chatting. Because apparently we did all of them. Final mission is wild. Oh, I see. I see. Right, 13's on September. So how'd you like the game? Well, I mean, you said you liked it. You think this was like the not the best game, good game. Best EF so far. Nice, nice, nice. I hope you got your money's worth though. I'm still not done streaming. Just FYI. I'm just cooling down, calming, all that. Red love challenge. See, I see. Sheesh, Fantasy 14. And we're gonna get to Final Fantasy 30. Mm-hmm. Hmm. Huh. Well, could probably do is watch some videos, perhaps. Is what would that be? Hold on, hold on, hold on. Interesting. All right. Sorry, I was just having to look at something that popped in my feed. Anyways, uh, hmm. Not watch. Oh, that's a lot. That's a lot of. It's an hour long. Oh, complete season. That's like a lot of analog horror stuff. But where is the? I need to get rid of. In this one. I'm gonna set up a thing here. Huh? There we go. So I'm actually in a thing, so we can back to some. We're gonna be watching some abandoned shopping malls. Hydrate. Oh wait, no, we already seen this one.
Shopping centers and malls are usually.
This is a month. Oh wait a minute. No, I'm not dumb. I just didn't. I got mixed up. Stop it,
Just outside Chicago.
I freaking paused you. There you go. Oh, thank you for stretch.
In the suburb of Highland Park, Illinois, sits an abandoned $5.2 million mansion. Once owned by Park, Illinois, sits an abandoned.
You do not pronounce Illinois as Illinois. That's not how you say it. It's Illinois. The S is silent.
$5.2 million mansion, once owned by a wealthy Jewish couple. The couple ran into financial issues that caused them to have to rent out the mansion on Airbnb. After many years, that did not bring in enough money, so they...
Well, yeah, did you... I'm pretty sure... Did they win the lottery? They probably won the lottery. Bought a mansion and like, oh no, it's too expensive, so we have to rent it out. Like, oh no. It's not making us enough, and had to close.
They chose to sell the mansion instead. Now, the new owner plans to demolish it and build something brand new.
Why? If it's hard to
try to get a view of this house from the back. There we go. We made it inside this beautiful lakefront mansion. This place is going to be demolished. I'm lucky the door was unlocked, power's off. It's got beautiful balcony, an indoor pool, everything. It's a little bit nervous about getting in this place because I was not informed that there are Ring cameras on the outside of it. There's like 3 of them.
Ring cameras on a place that's about to be destroyed?
Look at how gorgeous that lakefront view is. I think that's like a 12-foot mirror. Gorgeous little...
Honestly, they'll probably just remove it. Like remove it like an hour before destroying it.
Detail up at the top. Got some glass that they removed right here.
Wait, hold on. Okay, we good.
This purplish marble goes all the way around. There's a fireplace, but it's mostly destroyed. You got this cool patterned wood right here.
What a waste.
Triple wide balcony.
can't imagine how
Beautiful,
people could
beautiful
live
white
in here.
marble. Some nice big columns. This is probably the best room in the entire place. Giant pool room. Look how deep that pool is. Oh, there's some people. Shit. I just seen some people. I hope they didn't see me. Those people are not supposed to be walking back there. It says beachfront access is off limits. And I don't know if they're here for the property, like if they're actually supposed to be here. They're walking back now. I'm gonna kind of go this way.
Yeah, dude. Says the person who's actively like not supposed to be there. It's like, oh, those guys aren't supposed. Oh, let's all point at them and tell them that they're not supposed to be. While he himself is not supposed to be there.
Let's take a walk up this gorgeous staircase, and we will check one of the windows up there. Okay, so the gate's still closed, or at least that one is, which is good news. There's another gate over there. Oh, there they are. Just seen them walking. If they're going to that gate, that's not very good. This is the front yard though. They have gates around all the trees and shrubs. They're walking away. Or walking around the property, I'm not sure.
Man,
You can
bad
see them
timing.
off there in the trees.
Oh, I see him.
They're either walking around the property or coming in. I'm not sure. Okay, it looks like they're walking around the property. That was so close. All right, cool. So this would have been like one of the master bedrooms or bathrooms. I think this was the bathroom. I think there was a tub right there. And it was surrounded by these lights, which is really cool. You can kind of see the outline of the tub. And then you had this gorgeous stand-up shower.
That's really big.
With all kinds of fancy gold-colored knobs. And the rainforest shower up there. With a beautiful pink marble. This is like big enough to fit like 6 people. It's crazy.
Or why you would need one for yourself. So they said it was a couple's. Go checking up on those people.
If you look up there, there's even a lot of detail on that. That's crazy. That took somebody a lot of time to make.
Yep, and it's just gonna be destroyed.
There's a view from the pool up top.
Aim.
Nice skylights up there. Beautiful blue all the way around. Now we're back in this room with a bunch of square wood pattern. Looks very, very cool.
Makes
I
it
have
look
no
like
idea what
it's
this
a
dome was
bunch
for.
of holes.
Very, very pretty. That was the Ring camera I was telling you guys about. There's multiple though. There's a couple on the front side. Just look at how pretty that glass is. They had the same design on the front door as they did the front windows.
Oh Oh, that's a mirror. I thought someone tried to force their way
Beautiful
into
white
the
marble
wall.
that goes all the way up this staircase. I called it a spiral staircase, but it's more of like a wave. It's kind of cool.
No way, it's spiral.
This room has its own shower. I'm assuming that was the bath.
I still wouldn't even know what I would do with a mansion. Like, I would probably have like some form of ideas. Like, here's my stuff. Like, here's my recording area. Here's my gym. Here's my bedroom. And that's it. I'm a simple guy. Like, there's like 3 rooms I could probably take, and then, you know, you have your bathroom, kitchen. So yeah, that's like me. Honestly, I don't really care about money. Well, I mean, I do care to a point where I need to pay for stuff.
So
like
when I go to
food.
leave, I gotta make sure there's nobody walking from that side or that side. Because that is scary.
Legos.
Got some Legos. Yeah, small things like this kind of show that the house was lived in. This isn't new construction or anything. This is straight up removal of everything. Then they're probably gonna knock it down and build something way better.
It's still sad to see.
It's another one of the bathrooms. It's a very interesting shower. They already removed the copper and stuff. They're gonna scrap that, make a little bit of money. It's another balcony looking over the Lake Michigan.
That's actually pretty. What we can
Is
see.
that mold? Yeah, that's mold.
Oh, get
For
out
some
of there,
reason,
dude.
there's water damage in here.
Get the fuck out of there.
Quite a bit of it.
Get the fuck out of there, dude. That's mold. I don't want to be breathing in that shit.
They got a bathtub that's missing and the stand-up shower.
Another shower?
And this shower has gold on it too. Well,
I don't
gold
think
colored
that's solid
anyway.
gold. That's to be fake gold.
That bathtub would have been huge. And these are the stairs to go back down. We'll finish checking out the first floor because, well, I thought I was about to be in trouble, so had to hide a little bit.
Hide.
Beautiful garage.
Not really
Well,
big.
to be honest, this garage is not that impressive compared to the rest of the house.
I was just gonna say.
But you could
It's tall, but it's like, what's the point in using like a tall garage if the garage doors aren't also tall? So it's like you can fit in like a car, like maybe 2 cars, or maybe a car and a motorcycle, depending on how big and wide they are.
at least fit 2 cars in here.
Oh, shut up!
Maybe
I just
even a
said that.
third if it was small.
I did not pre-watch either.
Have no idea what that was. Maybe for like water heater and furnace?
Yeah, that's what it looks like. This. let's say for gardening, but
I have no idea what this room would have been. Oh, it's small. Oh, this was the bathroom. That was a toilet and a urinal with the sink here.
urinal?
That's really cool.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's try to do this pool room one more time. Hopefully we don't see people walking out there.
Oh, that's a bigger.
As I was trying to say before, is this pool is very, very deep. I wouldn't expect that. It's probably one of the deepest pools I have ever seen. And then of course you got the hot tub over here. No cars, no people. And a beautiful mural of fish. You got dolphins, mountain, an island over there in the corner, and a bunch of other fish. It's really cool.
Not sure if they're going to sell it off to somebody or not. Oh, I don't like how the
there's a
frames are
secret
capped on them. I don't think I can do that.
Passageway behind the pool. You see how it's cut out? Oh my god. That's so cool.
Shower room?
It's a hidden room. No way.
Not much of a hidden room.
Ain't that the coolest thing ever?
Like a video game door. Oh, here we go with the many knobs and faucets on that thing. That's a sauna room?
And you got a shower in there. And another shower? Yeah, 2 showers. I thought maybe they'd have like a sauna and a steam room, but no, just showers.
Nope.
Just seeing a couple people walking.
Why would you have many
You guys
showers?
probably can't see it.
I would have a steam room.
Yeah, it's hard to see. Somebody walking their dog. You got whatever that is hooked up to cable and power, and it runs over there, down and to the outside.
I mean, that would be me. Especially, you know, with working out and stuff. Like, you work out and then it's like, okay, time for the steam room.
Secret room is the coolest thing ever, though. Now, this is probably another bedroom. Nothing too interesting in this one. Now we can probably make our way downstairs and check out what's left down there.
Basement?
There's a huge hot tub down here.
Must have been ones from above.
Looks like it has a spot for somebody to lay right there. And then a spot for 3 people to sit. That's really cool. This room
Even like that.
has another hockey stick. Wonder if the owners were like hockey players.
A full Gatorade? Take that. Oh.
There's some alcohol down here.
Wonder if that's so good.
It's pretty dark. This is really cool. This is a fish tank.
Oh.
Massive aquarium. And it's got a fish hanging up right in there. Back here must have been access to the fish tank. Yep, this is access to the fish tank. Another bathroom. HVAC stuff. This is all the plumbing and some electrical.
For
A
ballerina
room with
stuff?
mirrors. No way. There's a giant safe. That's so cool. It looks like they're about to remove it. You see how the drywall is all broken around it?
Yeah.
Let's see if there was anything over this way.
Oh, sorry.
More HVAC stuff. Not entirely sure what that is. Electrical. This must be the fire control panel and a few other things. This is plumbing. They haven't taken that plumbing out, but that's more copper.
Or copper for recycling. Funny.
Oh, no way, this looks cool.
This.
This is a movie room. I tried to open the windows so there'd be more light in here, but that did not work. So this is what we're gonna have to deal with.
Well, I mean, at least you tried.
Pretty sure this was a giant movie room though. They would have had a giant flat screen TV up there. And then they would have had seating on these like 3-tier steps with some kind of rope lighting around it. Very, very cool. So they would have been sitting right up here, lounging and watching a movie.
And I would have had some recliners in that. Maybe they did.
And there is nothing over here really. There's this little door. Oh, well that's boring. Now we're gonna see if there's a way to access the steps. Because I wanna see what it looks like going down.
Might not be able to.
Well, it is locked by a bike lock.
Bike
It can
lock.
fit right under.
Well, officially,
There we
you're
go.
out of it. So,
My God.
so in technicality, they can't really, you know, if they just caught you looking at the stuff, you're like, oh no, I was just looking at it. I didn't go in here.
God, it's beautiful. Is that a dog? I think somebody's dog is down here. Somebody's really tiny dog is down here. Means I probably don't want to go down all the way, because that means the owner is somewhere nearby.
Yep.
But
Maybe not
man,
the
look at this view.
Sad how such a grand building costs or could be left to decay. Yeah. Such a waste. Right. Yep. Yep. That's what I'm saying. It is such a waste. We're gonna watch a Fury video, and then we're gonna
Daniel O'Neill is a YouTuber from the UK with a channel called English Woodsman, where he's been uploading videos of his wild camping, stealth camping, and woodland camping trips in the UK for almost 10 years. Most of the channel's videos feature Daniel reviewing camping gear for his viewers and showing footage of his adventures in the great outdoors. For the most part, they're pretty tame, but in August 2023, he uploaded a video of his camping trip in the woodlands close to his home, and the footage is pretty disturbing. The first part of the video pretty much just shows Daniel walking through the woods and talking to his subscribers, eating berries, and pointing out the sights on the way to the campsite. At several points along the way, he pauses to mention the footprints and garbage he sees lying on the trail, indicating other people had been there in the last few days.
Someone's been here. There's a lot of rubbish around here. Yeah, look at the state of this. Does get used, doesn't it?
After about a 20-minute walk, he sits down in a clearing where he plans to set up camp for the night and leans back on a tree to eat his noodles as he talks to the camera. It's not until around 25 minutes into the video that things start to get seriously disturbing for Daniel.
I'm going to be out Friday night, but I'm going away Saturday, so I've got a bit of a drive as well, so I didn't want to be tired. And it's going to throw it down Friday night as well. And rain camping is really good.
I hope your arm, buddy.
Is that a badger?
That is not a badger.
Hello?
Even though some pretty human-like footsteps could be heard right behind Daniel, as soon as he turns around to scan his environment, there's nobody in sight. What's most disturbing is that as soon as he turned around and yelled hello, the footsteps immediately stopped. For the next few minutes, he sits down and tries to regain his composure as he sips his coffee and eats his noodles, but things only continue to get even more creepy as the sun begins to set.
There's that noise again now. Hello? Hello? You got a bit of that.
Okay, so two things. It could be someone fucking with him, or it could be an actual animal that's like digging, and it sounds like footsteps.
There's nobody here.
About 40 minutes into the video, the footstep noises can be heard again, and this time it sounds like they're getting closer to Daniel. By this point, most people would have hightailed it out of there without any hesitation, but Daniel decides to sit back down to finish his dinner as he tries to calm his nerves for the second time. Amazingly, a few minutes later, it almost seems like he completely forgets about the footsteps and manages to think about less disturbing things, which is honestly pretty impressive. But as darkness sets in, the eerie footsteps start up again.
I'm going to be honest. I can't stay here now. I'm going to be a wimp. I don't care if people call me a wimp in the comments, but I can't stay here. I'm too unsettled. I'm nervous. I've done camping like this a load of times.
I don't blame you.
I think I'm going to go find somewhere else to get this bivvy set up. But I'm leaving this spot.
Understandably, after this third incident, Daniel decides to head somewhere else for the night to play it safe. It's hard to know what exactly was making those sounds, but because they sounded very similar to human footsteps, it's possible that Daniel was being stalked by someone in the woods. This is obviously incredibly dangerous, as you can never really trust someone's intentions when you're in such a vulnerable position all by yourself in unknown territory.
Yeah, never. So with the rule of going into the forest, you got to remember you're in the forest. There is no, it's not the concrete jungle we always used to live in. This is the forest where nature resides and where man truly shows what they can do with their imagination. So, what he has here might be someone who's screwing with him, or it could be an animal that's just digging. Who knows? Or maybe it could just be in the thing, because honestly, the steps kept sounding like it's like in one place. So yeah. What I always do is never go alone. And if you do go alone or with somebody, regardless, be armed. Like, I don't know how, like, I would be armed. I don't know what other people would be, because honestly, like, if you're armed, then you protect yourself. It doesn't even matter if it's like a human or maybe a wild animal. For your sake, let's just hope it's a wild animal and not a man. As one, I don't think you would want your consciousness to be keeping you up at night, that you might either kill a man, hurt a man, or someone else. And I'm saying man as in like a gender neutral, obviously. Like, man. So, yeah. Just be aware when you're camping. At least that's what I would go with. Be armed. And bring somebody. If you don't bring somebody, just include being armed.
It was either that or an animal walking through the grass, but because Daniel mentioned the grass was a little wet and wouldn't have made that dry sound if an animal stepped on it, this is pretty unlikely.
Huh?
Also, many people in the comments mentioned that no animal walks that uniform and steady. They stop, go, and change pace constantly. Either way, it's a good thing he decided to leave, because who knows what could have happened to Daniel that night.
And we would have never gotten this footage.
One of the most annoying things to me is spam texts and phone calls.
Oh really? I don't really care.
I think the hack would have to do video accounts. Things, and if almost entirely public land within the Pike National Forest. In the summer, you'll find lots of bikers enjoying the Rampant Range's elaborate trail system and exploring the great outdoors. For the most part, this part of Colorado is a paradise for anyone who enjoys spending time in nature. But over the past few years, there's been a pretty alarming trend on the rise, with random people setting up wires on trees at just about head height in an effort to seriously injure bikers on the trail. In 2019, a post describing this terrifying trend was uploaded to Facebook. And disturbingly, the uploader mentioned that one of his high school friends had lost his life as a result of running into a similar wire on a trail. Immediately, people jumped into the comments to point out how incredibly messed up it would be to do something like this, and how this kind of evil needs to be categorized as attempted murder if the suspects are ever caught.
Exactly.
A couple of years before that post was made, in 2017, two motorbike riders uploaded a video to YouTube of their encounter with a similar wire, and although nothing happened to them, it was a very close call.
Oh jeez. I even leaned over. What is wrong with people? I just want to see people like suffer.
When these wires are set up off trail, it can be hard to tell whether they were placed there out of malice or if a random camper or farmer placed the wires there to hang up clothes or something similar. But in cases like these where the wires are specifically placed on the trail, there's really only one reason people would do that, and that's to bring serious harm to bikers for some reason. Possibly they're annoyed with the constant loud sound of the bikes near their property or something else. but hopefully more measures can be taken in the future to prevent more people from getting hurt, especially because it's not uncommon to hear about motorbikers and snowmobilers losing their lives over this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's why they started wearing or using those things on the front of their bikes so that it would lift the wire over their heads so that they don't get hit. Yeah, it's annoying, but like, what else could you do?
This audio was uploaded to YouTube by a user named ForestFire number 21. He recorded it around 2 a.m. in December 2014. The uploader lives in a forest, and he mentioned that the noises in the audio were
unexplained screaming. Could be a cougar.
Were coming from deep in the woods behind his house.
Oh. That's not good.
It's hard to make out what the child is yelling, but after listening closely, several users jumped in the comments to point out that you can also hear an adult voice yelling, "Where are you?" In addition to the young female voice making most of the noise, this quieter, more subtle male voice that can also be heard in the audio only makes the whole incident that much more disturbing. Near the end of the video, the uploader mentions that after that night, he checked the news every day to see if he could find some explanation for the screams, but he never did.
Sounds like an animal. At first it sounded like an animal, then it started sounding like actual words. I mean, it's a possibility. You never know what's happening over in the forest. A messed up yes, I know. Especially the cougars sounding like female screams. So either that's a cougar that sounds weirdly human, or that's an actual person that's there's at least two that literally sound human scream, bloody murder. Yes. That's why you see a lot of like forest videos where you hear a woman sound like screaming, and it's just a cougar. Actually, it's either a cougar or mountain lion. I don't know. It's either one of those. One's a marsupial. Really? I didn't know they make those noises.
Did. The fact that the screaming was captured at around 2 a.m. in the freezing cold weather and in the middle of the woods indicates that the uploader could have genuinely recorded something pretty sinister taking place that night. It's hard to tell why the uploader would record and upload the audio instead of immediately calling the police after hearing a female voice in such obvious distress, but at this point there's not much that can be done about it. And who knows, maybe the uploader did call the police. There wasn't much context given in the video's description. We can only hope that whatever problem happened that night was eventually solved, but based on the shrillness of the screams and the strangeness of the whole situation, we probably won't ever be able to know for sure. Lisa is a life coach and YouTuber who often uploads videos of what it's like living in her van and traveling the country on her own.
Oh, this would be
One
good.
afternoon in 2022,
Or this should be good.
Lisa had parked her van on the side of the road and left the side door of her van open while she cooked her dinner inside, when suddenly a sketchy-looking guy approached her, poked his head in her van without her permission, and started asking her some pretty bizarre questions in French, a language Lisa doesn't speak. When she mentioned she didn't understand what he was saying, he pulled out a translator app to try to communicate with her, which obviously made her pretty uncomfortable, especially since she wasn't interested in talking to him in the first place after he invaded her personal space. After watching the guy struggle to use Google Translate for a few minutes, Lisa decided she'd had enough and shut the side door in his face, also closing the curtain to make sure the guy got the hint. Strangely, for over half an hour, the guy then stood outside in the rain and tinkered with the translator app to try to communicate with Lisa, even after she made it more than obvious that she wanted nothing to do with him.
Maybe he's just trying, like, it's good on her that she like left the dude because he was being well, I don't want to say creepy, like he's probably either genuinely lost or something. guy could just need help. Yeah, it could, like, honestly, like, this dude, even though he speaks French, like, he's trying, like, his best to communicate. And yeah, the woman, like, didn't want to, you know, be talked to, but, like, he might have needed help. I don't know. I don't know. Well, let's just watch through the video.
Okay, he just moved even closer so that I can't move out, so that I can't go forward. Please leave. Please leave, you sketchy person. Please leave.
The line.
With a very shady demeanor, the man snuck into the bushes and pretty much just stalked Lisa from a distance, as if he thought she couldn't see him. As the sun began to set, Lisa kept an eye on the guy outside to make sure he didn't try to get close to her again, but the man just kept on bringing his car closer to her van and blocking her exit in different ways for more than half an hour.
Oh, I see.
It's really starting to freak me out. It's been like a half an hour and he just keeps on moving his vehicle so he can see in my van here.
Okay, I see.
Anyways, it's 7 o'clock, 7 p.m.
Fortunately, just as darkness had begun to set in, a family in an RV pulled up right behind Lisa and spent the night in the same parking lot as her, which comforted her enough to stay there the entire evening. Disturbingly, the guy left soon after the other family arrived, but came back about 3 hours later in the dead of night to check if Lisa was still there.
Well, they're probably out in the middle of nowhere. Like, maybe she did. And they said, oh, well, we can't really do anything about a dude who's just, you know, in the parking lot or something. Or some form of, like, BS thing, you know. But if not, then that's kind of on her for not calling the cops. Like, hey, there's this dude, not doing anything weird, but he's just out there. Can you do something about it?
When he saw the other family in the RV,
All I'm saying, this guy with a small van, she's in the van, of course. Used the van to move his car. Yeah.
he was also still in the parking lot. He left and didn't come back. The next morning, Lisa left early and never saw the guy again. It's hard to tell what the guy's exact intentions were, but based on his overall sketchy demeanor and questionable behavior, they couldn't have been anything good. The one thing we can be sure about is that it's a good thing the other family in the RV arrived at the parking lot when they did. Otherwise, who knows what the man would have done to Lisa. In May 2014, an Imgur user uploaded a blog post where he talked
When the spookiest videos are about people being creeps.
Yeah. Yeah, those are the ones I don't like. Well, I mean, I not don't like. It's the ones that creep me out. It's because real life stuff, real life humans that could do stuff to you. Not just, you know, the monsters or the ghosts that, you know, that might be there. It's actual people that could actually, you know, touch you. You know, do stuff to you. Who knows what? Like what my mother, my mother always says, like, oh, don't let a stranger, don't talk to a stranger, and don't go with the stranger, otherwise they'll cut your head off and use it as what was it? They would use it as what was it? They would cut your head off and something or other. But yeah, my mother was like trying to creep me out with that.
about the time he went to visit a friend in northern Germany. According to the uploader, his friend told him about these pipes that he had found in the woods near his house that stuck up out of the ground like periscopes.
Ooh.
Apparently, his friend and his siblings played near the pipes as kids and knew that there were bunkers hidden below them, but their parents never allowed them to get near them out of concern for their safety. During the visit narrated in the blog post, the uploader and his friend decided to check out the pipes and finally go down into the bunkers that they never had permission to explore when they were younger, and they found some pretty disturbing stuff. A few hundred feet away from the trees, they found the entrance to the bunker covered with a loosely placed piece of wood that they easily removed with a crowbar. Once inside, all they could see were these long, seemingly endless hospital-like hallways that extended for thousands of feet under the woods.
All I say is, if I were traveling while living out of a van, you can be damn sure there'd be a tool in that van for self-defense. Obviously.
As they ventured further and further into the maze of tunnels, they found graffiti on some of the walls, indicating they weren't the first people to get the idea to explore the underground bunkers. To the explorers' horror, one of the walls deep inside the tunnels had the word "help" in German graffitied all over it. It's possible that it was just sprayed on there by another group of teens trying to be funny, but the eerie nature of the bunker coupled with the general state of disarray really makes you wonder if something more sinister took place down there.
Oh, we have an ad. Okay, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Welcome in, Killy SD Radio. And what is that? What is that? Killy. Oh, that's your. Wait a minute. No, that's not yours. Wait. No, it is. Wait. Yes. No. Yes. No. Eyes. In, Anyways.
There at some point, possibly even written by German soldiers in the later parts of World War II. As they traveled deeper into the bunker, they found some more disturbing graffiti, with one of the eeriest messages reading, "Hello Satan, I love you." Obviously, that's not the kind of message you want to see in a tunnel system like this, but the two friends decided to keep on exploring anyway.
Obviously, it's freaking people who went into the tunnels and graffitied it.
After several hours down in the bunker, they ended up finding tons of more twisting, winding hallways, flooded rooms with old machines, and dark, narrow corridors that reached dead ends, but nothing more disturbing than the graffiti they had found a few hours earlier. The explorers managed to make it out of there safely and didn't go back there again. In the summer of 2016, reports started surfacing that people were finding dangerous booby traps along a very well-known hiking trail in the High Mountain Park Preserve in Wayne, New Jersey.
No.
As per the police reports, the traps mostly consisted of boards with nails sticking out of them, barbed wire, broken bottles placed along the trails behind or near rocks or logs, and other treacherous materials. As more and more complaints started coming in, police warned people to keep an eye out for the traps and even organized cleanup efforts to keep hikers safe during their treks. What's most
I'm not
disturbing
gonna go hiking again.
is that these traps were clearly placed there to hurt people, as there's really no other reason to put nails and barbed wire on the ground in the middle of such a popular hiking trail. The fact that someone would take the time to get out on the trail, build a booby trap in such detail, and place it there with the intention to do harm to other people and their pets is honestly pretty messed up. But
What about if they're trying, what if it's like a secret operation? What if it's to prevent people from actually coming to this place? You know, you never know. Canada, not a fan of them. Okay. Fair enough, Rennis, fair enough.
it didn't take the cops too long to make an educated guess as to who was behind the whole thing. Although they never found the individual suspects responsible for placing the traps on the trail, the sheriff's department determined that the traps had probably something to do with the feud between hikers and bikers who had been fighting over use of the trail for decades. According to many nearby residents, it's common for bikers on the trail to speed past the hikers without ringing their bells or announcing their presence, which has led to several injuries and rising tensions between the two groups over the years. Still, it's hard to imagine that someone would take the issue to the point of trying to harm an entire group of people so maliciously with such brutal methods. Fortunately, no one was hurt as a result of the traps, but the suspects responsible were never found.
Alright, try 9 scary videos that will baffle you. Actually, wait. Oh, let's try this one. I do like abandoned building stuff.
Urbex Hill is one of the most popular urban exploration channels on YouTube, featuring raw footage from YouTuber Chris Hill's visits to a lot of the more extreme abandoned buildings in the US. From abandoned mental hospitals to decommissioned military facilities, Chris explores all of it, but specifically places that a lot of even the more extreme explorers wouldn't visit, at least not at night and alone like Chris always does. In January 2023, he uploaded footage of his visit to the now abandoned Paul Revere Elementary School in Cleveland. After almost a century of use, the school was permanently closed in 2015 due to declining enrollment numbers. Although there are allegedly plans to turn the abandoned building into a housing complex, as of 2024, Paul Revere Elementary is still abandoned and in terrible shape. From the moment Chris walks inside, it's pretty clear that the place hasn't been used in years and has been severely damaged by the elements, vandals, and the passage of time. The bottom floors are all flooded, the walls are peeling, the structure doesn't seem too sound, and there's rust, random papers, books, and all kinds of debris lying everywhere. Throughout the video, you can see messages written in seemingly fresh chalk on some of the whiteboards, confirming that people have been in the building recently. This was actually Chris's second visit to Paul Revere Elementary. It's pretty clear that the place hasn't been used in years and has been severely damaged by the elements, vandals, and the passage of time. The bottom floors are all flooded, the walls are peeling, the structure doesn't seem too sound, and there's rust, random papers, books, and all kinds of debris lying everywhere. Throughout the video, you can see messages written in seemingly fresh chalk on some of the whiteboards, confirming that people have been in the building recently. This was actually Chris's second visit to Paul Revere Elementary.
Well, it depends on when this video came out.
When he uploaded footage of his March 2022 visit to the school, several people in the comments mentioned they had either been students or teachers at the school and talked about how incredibly sad it was to see their beloved childhood school ruined by abandonment and lack of maintenance. A little after 10 minutes into the exploration, you can hear some sort of ruffling sound and other strange noises coming from somewhere in the schoolhouse.
What is that?
Wait.
Do you hear that?
This is where, like, a group of people show up? Yep! We saw this. I know what happens.
As Chris turns a corner in the hallway, another person's flashlight can be seen shining down the hall. It looks to be just one person, who was likely either another urban explorer or a squatter. Still, at 1 a.m. in an abandoned building, it's obviously best to avoid drawing unwanted attention to yourself, especially when you don't know the other person's intentions, which is why Chris ultimately decided to run instead of making his presence known. Making sure to walk in the other direction to avoid running into anyone, he then heads to the library and explores the rest of the top floors. As he goes into the bathroom,
I understand he turned his light off to avoid being seen, but it was amusing that he turned the light off to say, "You hear that?" Like the light made it harder to hear.
from on the top floor, he has another encounter.
Somebody's in there. Scared the out of me. Oh, man.
At the far end of the bathroom, what appears to be a human silhouette can be seen standing completely motionless. After the initial shock of the encounter, Chris draws his gun and goes back inside to confront the man.
His gun?
Hello.
Okay, well, he's not stupid.
What the Oh, it's a toy.
You know, funny how that just fell down as soon as he knew something was up. Sorry, but if I run into people and avoid them, I don't stay in the building, let alone go on a higher floor or to leave. Yeah.
Oh my god, that scared the out of me.
As it turns out, the silhouette was actually a scary mannequin that somebody set up, probably to scare away visitors. What's most eerie is that even though we can't know for sure how long the mannequin had been standing there before the footage was shot, for some reason it fell forward just in time for Chris to see it, the most reasonable explanation being from the sound waves bouncing off the wall. Most people would have left as soon as they saw the mannequin, but Chris continued to explore the rest of the school, seemingly unmoved by the horrifying experience he just went through. Though not before clearing the entire rest of the bathroom. Sadly, some of the rooms in the school are filled with books, whiteboards, and other perfectly usable materials that could have been donated to another school before the building was abandoned. But nobody seemed to care enough to give them away before the school was abandoned.
Yep.
About half an hour into the visit, Chris climbs up to the roof, which in itself is pretty risky. Even if you don't care about getting caught by the cops, there's still a very high risk of the roof caving in, especially considering the state of the building when the footage was shot.
Or black mold.
Fortunately, he was able to climb down safely, but that's when a strange noise could be heard coming from the other end of one of the hallways.
Never mind.
Safe is still here. I wonder what's in it.
Oh, hey, dark figure. This guy.
As Chris explores one of the rooms, a strange howl can be heard in the distance, and as he raises his camera, you can clearly see a shadow moving behind the door at the far end of the room. By this point, it's pretty clear that not only are multiple other people in the building with him, but now he's possibly being stalked. Once again, Chris draws his gun and prepares for an encounter, but he doesn't find anyone in any of the rooms. After this, he admits he's ready to call it a night and decides to head home, but not before this final encounter.
This place is weird as hell. Oh, here it is. This place is crazy. I remember the last time I explored it. Hello?
He goes up there?
Hello? What? Okay, I know I heard somebody coming down these stairs.
Well, yeah, they probably snuck away.
As he struggles to find his way out of the school, the sound of footsteps can be clearly heard on the stairway directly above Chris's head.
Yeah, I'm going to assume that it might be staged, you know, from that black figure. I don't know. It could be staged.
But after running up and calling out to see if he gets a response, nobody acknowledges him. Luckily, he was able to walk away unharmed and has continued to upload videos of his visits to abandoned places pretty frequently. The Proper People is an urban exploration channel owned by Brian and Michael, two friends who travel the world in search of abandoned buildings. For the past 10 years that their channel has been active, The Proper People is an urban exploration channel owned by Brian and Michael, two friends who travel the world in search of abandoned buildings.
Oh, owned by. Okay. As I was about to say, there's 3 people in here.
For the past 10 years that their channel has been active, Brian and Michael have built up a reputation for being a trustworthy channel that only uploads genuine footage of their explorations. In a niche of YouTube that's often plagued by cheap, fake footage from people trying to get their 15 minutes of fame, The Proper People has endured as one of the most reliable channels in the urbex space. They gained their fame from explorations of genuinely cool places instead of faking creepy encounters or anything of the such. In 2016, they uploaded a video of their nighttime visit to the Jemison Center in Northport, Alabama.
Wait,
in a niche of YouTube for the Brian and
The Proper People vlogs? Oh my god, my freaking keys are all over. Vlog, not blog. Oh, I see.
Michael, two friends who travel the world in search of abandoned buildings.
Videos is kind of
for the past 10 years that their channel has been active, Brian and Michael have built up a reputation for
2 different channels for additional content. I don't know. Maybe this is like short form content. I don't know. I'll just click on it, put it in my react to videos.
For being a trustworthy channel that only uploads genuine footage of their explorations. In a niche of YouTube that's often plagued by cheap, fake footage from people trying to get their 15 minutes of fame, The Proper People has endured as one of the most reliable from people trying to get their 15 minutes of fame.
Why is she twerking? Like, what's going on here? Oh, you clicked the first one and it showed an extra, probably long. Yeah.
The Proper People has endured as one of the most reliable channels in the urbex space. They gained their fame from explorations of genuinely cool places instead of faking creepy encounters or anything of the such. In 2016, they uploaded a video of their nighttime visit to the Jemison Center in Northport, Alabama, often referred to as Old Bryce Hospital. From 1939 to 1977, the Jemison Center housed hundreds of psychiatric patients and acquired a reputation for treating them pretty harshly. Often referred to as the creepiest building in Alabama, Old Bryce was closed in the late 70s and has since been reclaimed by nature and become a hotspot for urban explorers from all over the world. As Michael and Brian approach the location in their car, there doesn't seem to be anyone around, and after driving around the grounds for a while, the two YouTubers get out of their vehicle to begin exploring, settling on the basement as the first area to explore.
Jeez, this is like a Cry of Fear level.
After more than 4 decades of abandonment, the entire complex is almost completely destroyed, and while some of the walls are completely covered in all kinds of graffiti, some of them aren't even there anymore. With the state of disrepair of the Jemison Center, there's always a chance that the structure could collapse on itself and trap Brian and Michael inside. But as they go up the stairs to explore the top floor, it becomes clear that an unsound structure is the least of their worries.
Whoa, look at this. Look at this staircase out here. Oh. There's somebody there.
No way.
Yes, I see their light. They're out there. I swear on my life. Right there.
I hear him.
Should I say hello?
Yeah.
There's somebody out there.
We might not be able to see their light because of their cameras. We have to just take it with the face value. No. It's yeah. It's a thing. Trust me, it's a thing. Cause I tried taking a picture, like especially with my phone. Now I don't know how advanced their cameras are, but like with my phone, I try to take a picture of something in the dark, and it's not showing me anything. And trust me, it was in pitch black like this.
Let's go back to the car. This way. If it's somebody wanting to talk to us.
Let's go to the car now.
Oh yeah.
As the camera pans to the window, the outline of a person holding up a light can be seen on the staircase on the opposite side of the building.
Oh.
Disturbingly, as soon as the uploaders turn off their light, the other person does the exact same thing, indicating they were watching and didn't want to be spotted.
Oh, I
Chillingly,
see.
if you rewind the footage to when the YouTubers arrived at the top floor, you can clearly see a light outside the window frame, but it's unclear if the light was coming from the same person who was watching them.
Yep, that was that.
After calling out and receiving no response, Brian and Michael decide to go back to their car to avoid getting jumped or worse.
Well, to be fair, this is also why I explore in the daytime. Well, it's a lot creepier and it brings in more views. You know, money. Everyone likes money, right?
It's hard to know what exactly the intentions of the other person were, but what's even more disturbing is the fact that there were no other cars in the area when they arrived and when they left, which means that whoever was there had arrived on foot and probably been there for a while.
There can also be another urban explorer like them, and they just don't. Night explorer is I'd only do nighttime exploration with that with a large group. Well, I mean there are 2 people here. It's either 2 or 3. But I'm pretty sure it's just the 2 of them. But that person there, either like they're alone and they're just doing urban exploring like them, and they heard people. They don't want to be seen. Is they're thinking with their brain like, yeah, no, I am not responding.
Ridgely Hospital was a women's psychiatric hospital in Lancaster, UK that operated for almost 100 years from 1916 to 2013. Famous for being
Wow.
one of the first psychiatric hospitals in the UK that fought for the humane treatment of mentally ill patients, Ridgely Hospital housed thousands of patients and used modern treatment methods such as electroconvulsion therapy to help patients with a range of disorders, from severe depression to obsession to mania. In April 2022, YouTuber Exploring with Tom visited the site with 3 of his friends in the middle of the night. Throughout their visit, they were extremely loud and not aware of their surroundings, which is obviously not the best idea when exploring an abandoned building. Keep in mind that most of these abandoned buildings are still considered government property, which makes it illegal to trespass and explore the grounds. Still, if you disturb a hostile squatter's home by being obnoxiously loud, getting arrested would probably be the least of your worries.
We're not scared of you.
Oh, yeah, well, I am scared of you. I think someone is here now, to be honest with you.
Why? You idiots! Why are you pestering people who are either living in there or... You don't know what they are. You don't know if they're armed or not. They could, like, be armed with, like, a freaking machete and going after you. Like, that... Do you want an arm chopped off here? Like, come on, dude.
After hearing some strange noises coming from one of the rooms, the 4 explorers call out to see if there's anyone in the building, and this is where things get a little disturbing.
Well, let's be honest here, Rennis. It took the government a while to find let's see. Who was the dude? He showed a bunch of weapons on his YouTube channel. He got caught botting his views. But yeah, he showed a bunch of his of the weapons he was shooting at that were probably illegal to obtain naturally. And they actually raided his place. So I think a smaller YouTuber who's posting this is the least of their worries.
Be careful. There's someone there. Someone there. Just like, let's see what it is. It might need help.
Should I drink?
Hello? Ooh. Hello? What? Go! 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 Go!
You idiots. You freaking morons.
Everyone okay? Everyone okay? Keep calm. Keep calm.
Freaking seizure warning, my dudes.
What the? Don't hurry up. Get out. Get out. Get out. What do you want?
Yeah.
He's right there. He's right there. No.
As soon as one of the teenagers calls out, a man can be heard
All
screaming
right,
from
good
inside
luck,
the room.
Rennis.
Without thinking twice, Tom and his friends make a run for it back to their car, but disturbingly, the man isn't satisfied with just scaring them out of the building and ends up chasing them all the way to their car. It's unknown who the man was or what he wanted from them, but one of the theories that's been echoing in the comments is that he was probably a homeless person who got upset at the amount of noise Tom and his friends were making. It's probably not too pleasant to have 4 rowdy teenagers burst into the abandoned building you call your home and start yelling, laughing, and swearing. But still, it's good they were able to get away unharmed.
Freaking idiots.
In 2006, a 36-year-old man named Vincent Filya was living in the woods as a fugitive near Lugoff, South Carolina after being accused of abusing his stepdaughter. In September of that same year, he saw a 14-year-old girl named Elizabeth Schoaf getting off the school bus and decided to abduct her. Posing as a police officer, Filya arrested Schoaf on a supposed marijuana charge and led her to his hideout in the middle of the woods. For 10 days, Elizabeth was chained up and abused by Filya in the underground bunker beneath the hideout in what can only be described as a nightmare come true. Still, the girl was extremely resilient throughout the whole ordeal and came up with a plan to escape from the horrifying situation she found herself in. If she wanted to escape, Elizabeth knew that she had to get Vincent to like her. For several days, she pretended to be in love with Filya, and eventually the kidnapper lowered his guard, even unchaining her and allowing her to play games on his phone. One night, while Vincent was sleeping, the teenager got a hold of his phone and sent a text to her mom saying she was in a hole across the Charm Hill, that there was a bomb, and to call the police. As it was later revealed, Filya had planned to draw in as many people as possible to the bunker to detonate a bomb and take the lives of the responding officers. However, he never managed to carry out his plan, for just a few minutes later the area was surrounded by helicopters and he was forced to surrender. To make a long story short, Elizabeth was able to move on with her life, and the monster named Vincent Filiat spent the rest of his life in prison, where he died in 2021 in his cell. In December 2023, a YouTuber named Big Banks visited the abandoned hideout where the terrifying crime took place. Immediately upon entering the house, the uploader finds something extremely disturbing.
I think this was the little girl's backpack that was left here. What a sad sight to see, knowing that that happened.
A little girl's backpack can be seen on the floor outside the kitchen. Although it's impossible to confirm if it belonged to Elizabeth Shove, it is possible that it was planted there after the crime by somebody else.
That is... Why didn't they just destroy this entire place? Like, it's not being used anymore, but still.
As he explores the living room, the uploader finds more creepy stuff, including a DVD of the horror movie The Strangers, a Halloween decoration next to one of the couches, a shank, a broken baseball bat, and a ripstick.
Hey, Rosewolf!
Obviously,
how's it going, dude? Welcome in.
The fact that these items were left behind is much more disturbing when you consider the history of the house. It's heartbreaking to imagine that some of the toys lying around the floor possibly belonged to the girl that Vincent Filiat had stolen. Throughout the rest of the house, several objects and pieces of furniture, including the bed in the main room, look like they were placed there much later than 2006. It's possible that the house was occupied by squatters, but because it was empty at the time the footage was shot, it's impossible to know what belonged to Filiat, his common-law family, his victim, and the squatters. Thankfully, after being reunited with her family in 2006, Elizabeth went on to live a fruitful life, and the man who committed the heinous crime against her paid the price for it. Holton Avenue is a notoriously creepy abandoned street in
Going good. I'm house sitting for my uncle. Get to hang out with the little kid. Aww, can you post the kitties in my server or in Key server or something? I want to see them. I want to see cats. I love
Cleveland,
them.
Ohio. In 1913, the first Hungarian Baptist church was built on that street, eventually falling into disuse and being left abandoned like the rest of the buildings on that street. In April 2016, the body of a woman named Jessica Coleman was found there after she went missing, but unfortunately her attacker was never found. In July 2023, Chris Hill went to the location to record footage of the abandoned church, as well as the rest of the buildings on Holton Avenue. From disturbing graffiti to broken glass and peeling walls, the church checks every box you would expect from a creepy, abandoned building. As he ventures into the basement, Chris finds signs that someone else had been inside the church, including an action figure of Melvin the giraffe from Madagascar that he mentions he doesn't remember seeing the last time he visited the location. Knowing that he's often not alone during his explorations, Chris set up several cameras throughout the church, and about 10 minutes into the exploration, one of the cameras on the main floor captures something pretty creepy.
Oh, that's messed up.
What's upstairs?
Oh, that is creepy.
Obviously, doors don't just randomly shut themselves, and as it wasn't particularly windy that night, it's clear that someone was in the church with Chris. But after looking around for a bit, he can't find anyone in the church and decides to head back outside to explore the rest of the buildings on Holton Avenue.
Why would you?
If the church was in a messed up state, some of the houses are even worse, with most of them looking like they could collapse at any second. Around half an hour into the visit, he decides to explore one of the most dilapidated houses on the block, and as he's in the basement, the exploration takes a scary turn.
It actually looks like it's just underneath the house. It's not really a basement. Still creepy.
Okay, that little blanket over the door, that someone might be living in there. I've seen it before. Yep, that's somebody.
I didn't know nobody lived there.
smelled like I knew somebody was in there.
As he's exploring the basement, a sound can be heard coming from the ground floor, and when he goes back up to find out what it is, a person pulls back the curtain. Immediately apologizing, Chris runs back out to the street, and that's when he realizes that despite the horrible state of the supposedly abandoned house, there was actually someone living in there with electricity. Clearly most, if not all of the abandoned buildings on the block were housing people now who didn't want him there, something he never encountered on his first visit. And with this newfound discovery, Chris called it a night. In February 2020, urban explorer Ridham Ryder explored an abandoned house at an undisclosed location with his exploration partner Zay Clark. According to Ridham, the house used to belong to an old woman who had passed away. In complete contrast to most abandoned houses, most of the woman's possessions had been left untouched, indicating that the house had not yet fallen prey to looters and squatters who often take things that aren't theirs. All throughout the house, the two explorers find everything from beautiful tableware and silverware to ornately woven tapestries and a fully equipped bar. Based on the calendars they found in the house, the property hadn't been occupied since August 2018. Just a few minutes into the visit, Ridham and Zay find something incredibly sad and disturbing.
I've always been worried about something like this happening, and then it did. When we walked in here, we took a few steps in the door, and we saw this on the ground. Now, for those who can't figure that, figure out what that is a body stain. And you can see right there, there's a walker. So, unfortunately, it seems that the woman who had lived here had taken a bad fall, landed on the floor, and that's where she expired, unfortunately. It's extremely, extremely sad to us. It took us a good 20 minutes to decide what we're gonna do here, and you know, despite it feeling weird, we figured we still need to tell the story because this is a good reminder to everybody that you need to check on your loved ones. It seemed this woman had passed and was laying here for God knows how long before she was found. So check in on your loved ones, guys.
Right in the middle of the hallway, a human body stain can be seen on the floor next to a walker, indicating that the old woman probably had a bad fall and couldn't get up. Sadly, she passed away and her body decomposed before anyone could save her, which is a terrifying way to die. There appear to be signs that the woman's family members tried to sort through her things after she passed away, but overall her various belongings are in perfectly good shape, including her bathroom supplies, which were still there at the time of the recording. It's hard to watch the footage without having conflicting feelings. Even though the house is beautiful and you can easily tell that the woman who lived there with her husband was a talented, outgoing person, it's incredibly sad to see how she met her end. Overall, the footage should serve as a reminder to check in on your loved ones every time you get the chance, because nobody deserves to pass away like that. Since 2020, Ridden with Ryder hasn't gone back to that location.
What a way to end the stream. Just by that. I'm sorry, I just the way they're posted. Thank you. I actually need some kitten stuff. Oh, they're little like actual babies. They are a few weeks old, a few days old. Aww. Thank you, Rosewolf. You actually helped me out with my barely anxiety, like my anxiety going off. It's like, oh no, someone had a bad trip, and then I see kittens. It's like, okay, it's not as bad as that, but it's just like, okay, that helped me keep my mind off of it. To just barely open their eyes. Aww. Thank you, Rosewolf. You get a free head pat. Okay, well, let us find somebody to raid. Not raiding a you, like freaking what? Actually, go on. No, not my channel. No. Alright. Tabletop Archer? No. I mean, we were raiding you last time. Ooh. What the frick? Why? How are you? Whatever. Oh, so Beat Saber, some art. Oh, someone's doing Tarry Night. You know what? Let's go in rain to I don't think I ran to them before. Let's go rain to Tori. You know what? I don't see you in a while, so let's go rain the Bean. Anxiety. No, let's do that one. Kitten saved me from anxiety. Copied that. We shall get started. Thank you for watching Gems. Tomorrow, I'm not sure what I'm going to be doing, but I'm going to be doing something. Yeah. Anyways, have a good night, Gems, and have a good rest of your weekend. Bye-bye.